The farmer who reinvested his seeds. Reinvesting income. Have you ever wondered why some people grow richer year after year, while others, no matter how much they earn, remain in the same place, or worse, fall behind? The answer, my friend, often comes down to one powerful principle: what you do with what you already have. Today's story is about a humble farmer, and the life-changing decision that turned his small plot of land into a legacy. In a quiet village, far from the noise of the city, lived a man named Elias. Elias was a farmer, known for his honesty, hard work, and the warmth of his smile. But behind that smile, there was a problem. His harvests were barely enough to feed his family and sell a little in the market. Every year was the same cycle: plant seeds, work the soil, harvest what he could, and spend almost everything he earned just to survive. By the time the next planting season came, his storage was nearly empty. One evening, Elias sat by the fire, staring at a small sack of wheat, the last of his harvest. His wife looked at him with worry. "Elias, we barely have enough to eat. You must sell this, or we won't make it through the month." But Elias didn't answer right away. He was thinking about something his grandfather once told him: a farmer's wealth is not in the harvest he eats today, but in the seeds he plants for tomorrow. The next morning, Elias made a bold choice. Instead of selling or eating all the wheat, he decided to keep half of it as seeds for the next season. This meant less food for now, but it also meant the possibility of more food later. His neighbors thought he was foolish. Why suffer hunger now for something uncertain in the future, they mocked. Elias simply smiled and said, "Because I'm not planting for today, I'm planting for tomorrow." Months passed. Elias worked tirelessly in his field, caring for his crops as if they were his children. When harvest time came, his yield had doubled compared to the previous year. Instead of celebrating with a big feast, Elias repeated his strategy. He took half of his harvest and reinvested it, buying better tools, improving his soil, and saving even more seeds for the future. This became his habit. Year after year, he reinvested a portion of every harvest, always thinking ahead. By the 5th year, Elias's small farm had grown into one of the largest in the region. He had more land, more crops, and more workers. What began as a single sack of seeds had multiplied into hundreds. The villagers who once mocked him now came for advice. "Elias, how did you do it?" they asked in amazement. He would smile and say, "I never ate all my seeds. I always planted some for tomorrow." Elias's story spread far beyond the village. People began to realize this wasn't just about farming, it was about life, business, and even money. If you spend everything you have today, you'll have nothing to grow tomorrow. But if you reinvest a portion of what you earn, your future will be bigger than your present. This is the power of reinvesting income. It's how fortunes are built, businesses expand, and dreams come true. Years later, Elias was an old man. His children and grandchildren worked the land he had built. They never knew the hunger he once faced. When asked about his success, Elias would say, "The richest harvest is not in what you gather, but in what you plant for the future." He had turned a small sack of wheat into a lifetime of abundance, simply by choosing to reinvest instead of consume everything. My friend, life will always give you seeds, whether they are money, skills, or opportunities. The question is, will you use them all up today, or will you plant some for tomorrow? Remember, what you reinvest grows. What you spend is gone forever. Your future depends on the seeds you choose to plant today. So the next time you receive income, whether big or small, think of Elias, the farmer who reinvested his seeds, and reaped a future far greater than his present.